The economy is slowly reopening with many businesses now operating at full capacity. And this means one thing: more people are out on the streets. As demand increases, what's the plan to sustain a safe and efficient public transport system amid this pandemic? Let's now have an exchange with Transportation Undersecretary TJ Batan. TJ, thank you so much for joining us. Undersecretary, kamusta mo naman po ang one-seat policy that has been implemented by the Department of Tourism or the Transportation? Is it working? Are passengers following the safety protocols?
Yes, Rico, as you said, kailangan na mag-reopen na itong economy natin. And isa dun sa mga ginawa natin in order to facilitate that is to implement itong one-seat apart policy. And as we have seen in the past few weeks of implementation, sa railway sector, halimbawa, we were able to increase our capacity across all of our lines from around 13% when we started with the GCQ. Currently, we have brought it up to 30%. And sa road-based naman natin, for the jeeps and the buses, we were able to bring it up to 50%, which was really the design and the purpose for the one-seat apart policy.
Yusek TJ, pakinggan natin si Emma Magbanwa. May complaint po siya tungkol dito sa public transport.
Pagka po may mga sasakyan na hindi sumusunod sa guidelines, paano po yun maire-report?
So Yusek TJ, yung pasaway ng mga drivers at operators, kanino po sila pwedeng mag-report at meron po bang multa if they do not follow the one-seat apart policy?
Yes, Rico. First of all, meron tayong IAC, yung Interagency Council on Traffic. We undertake our enforcement drives and enforcement activities. And we also have our DOTR hotlines and social media accounts where our commuters can report non-compliant operators and drivers of our public utility jeeps and buses.
Pero mayroon silang i-report. They will complain. How soon will the Department of Transportation respond to the complaints of the riding public?
What happens, Rico, is the LTFRB, upon receiving a complaint from a commuter, they conduct their investigation. And right away, nagkakaroon yan ng tinatawag nating hearing so that the erring operator and driver can be heard. If you would remember, Rico, we had incidents, I think, in the last 2 months of, just to compare, yung overspeeding ng mga buses sa bus lanes na bumunggo ng mga concrete barriers natin. If you would recall, as short as 1 week, we were able to summon the erring driver and operator and impose the appropriate penalty, which can include the suspension of their franchise and their operations.
Yusek TJ, let's now listen po kay George Royeca, Chief Transport Advocate ng ANCAS, and the protocols they have been putting in place.
Tayo po, yung ANCAS ulit, nag-pave ng way na maging safe po ulit para sa lahat. Kahit ano man yung mga bagong features natin, mga barriers po natin, wala po mga features sa app, mga development po natin, wala pong charge yan na extra sa customer.
So, Yusek, with the IATF endorsing the resumption of motorcycle taxis, when can commuters ride ANCAS or joyride again?
Right now, Rico, we are just waiting for the guidelines to be issued by the National Task Force. The DOTR is fully supportive of this direction for the return of motorcycle taxis. And on behalf of Secretary Togade, we are very thankful to the Congress for passing a resolution that enables us to extend the motorcycle taxi pilot program, and for the IATF for approving the return of our motorcycle taxis on the road. So as soon as the guidelines are issued by the National Task Force, we should be able to see the likes of ANCAS or Joyride, for example, returning to our streets.
Yusek TJ, pag sumasakay tayo ng mga public transportation, ayaw po natin magkaroon ng COVID-19 infection, hindi ba po? Meron bang contactless tracing procedure in place sa mga public transportation?
Yes, Rico. Very recently, we have started launching yung tinatawag nating TRACE program. And we are also working on the integration of TRACE with Stay Safe Philippines. which is the contact tracing being used elsewhere. So once these contactless contact tracing apps are operational, then we expect to be able to address part of the requirements for COVID-19 operations, which is yung contact tracing app.
Alright, briefly, Yusek TJ, no, marami sa ating mga drivers and operators na walang po ng hanap buhay, na wala ng pera over the past few months because of the strict restrictions. At saka dito sa Bayanihan Tulod, there's more than 5 billion pesos allotted for the service contracting scheme of displaced PUV drivers. Nabigyan na po ba sila ng pera? Ilan sa kanila ang makakuha ng ayuda?
Itong service contracting scheme natin, Rico, this is really per kilometer na parang bayad natin for the public utility vehicles that will be operating during this quarantine. So LTFRB, headed by our chairman, si Chairman Chuck Delgra, they will be coordinating and working with our public utility vehicle operators in operationalizing kung paano ba ibababa itong budget na ibinigay sa atin ng Bayanihan 2 for service contracting para naman matulungan itong mga operators and drivers natin that continue to provide public service during this quarantine, during this pandemic period.
Maraming salamat po for that thoughtful exchange. Transportation Undersecretary TJ Batan.